The war on drugs in the United States has lasted over 5 decades, costing taxpayers billions of dollars. However, it has failed to deter drug abuse among youth, and drug use has actually increased, along with the consumption of more potent drugs. The idea that the government can eradicate drugs from the streets is unrealistic, as even Charles Manson managed to distribute drugs while imprisoned. The suggestion of legalizing drugs is often misunderstood as advocating drug abuse, but the objective behind questioning this war is rooted in freedom. The war on drugs is unconstitutional, infringing upon individuals' autonomy and extending the state's control over people's lives. Lysander Spooner argued that vices, acts that harm oneself or one's property, are not crimes. People should have autonomy over their own bodies, rather than the government deciding what is allowed. This message should resonate with individuals across the political spectrum. The political climate forces citizens into a dichotomy that limits their perspectives. People often fail to realize that they share similarities with their supposed enemies, and it's not a matter of left versus right, but rather the state versus individuals. Drug warriors tend to disregard the significant number of deaths caused by alcohol, tobacco, and prescription drugs. Alcohol alone leads to around 140,000 deaths annually. Tobacco is the leading cause of preventable deaths with 480,000 deaths each year, and prescription drugs claim 16,500 lives per year. Considering food as a drug, its abuse leads to numerous health issues, with heart disease being the leading cause of death in America. The government's focus is on control, rather than the well-being and privacy of its citizens. Financial privacy has been compromised due to the drug war, with bank deposits over $10,000 being reported to the IRS. Civil asset forfeiture laws allow the police to confiscate cash without due process, and individuals are presumed guilty until they can prove their money was legally acquired. Instances of police planting drugs on individuals or in vehicles can be prevented by ending the war on drugs. The case of Weldon Angelos highlights the absurdity of the war on drugs. Angelos received a mandatory 55-year sentence for minimal marijuana-related offenses due to a gun being present, while criminals guilty of heinous acts often receive shorter sentences. The United States has the largest prison population in the world, partly due to the consequences of the war on drugs. Over 1 million people were arrested in 2020 for drug-related offenses, strengthening the government and police while citizens fear false accusations. Violent crimes committed under the influence of drugs should be punished, but the focus should be on crimes that harm individuals and their property, rather than personal vices. Some countries have pursued alternative approaches to the drug crisis. The Netherlands decriminalized cannabis possession and showed leniency toward users found with small quantities of psychedelic mushrooms. Switzerland focused on helping drug-addicted citizens through drug consumption rooms and needle exchange programs, resulting in a decline in HIV infections and hepatitis C cases. It's time to reconsider our approach to the war on drugs, emphasizing individual freedom, personal responsibility, and evidence-based solutions. Only then can we effectively address the complex challenges posed by drug use in our society. Subscribe Libertarian Facts.